All right. So that's it. All right. So why adding a system feels like more work when you are already overwhelmed. So, I mean, why does it look like that? Why is this hard to do the right thing? This is where what we're actually addressing. So knowing the loop helps, and starting it while overwhelmed are two different battles. So we're already overwhelmed. Now we will propose a system that you can use. Why would you not decide to use it? What could be on your mind? Right? If we are teaching holy in a very wholesome way, we must help you answer that question. So the loop feels like overhead when already busy. So what it looks like. So adding a structured monthly process can feel like one more obligation stuck on top of an already full schedule. I unfortunately it looks like that. And the counter tactics, the loops takes less the loop takes less total time than generating or than regenerating ideas from a blank page every week. It replaces ongoing low-grade decisions fatigue with one concentrated planning session a month. All right, and then next, what we will end up seeing is that what if my constraint changes mid-month? What if, right? So what it looks like. Fast-moving businesses sometimes see a constraint shift before the previous month's content plans and has been fully executed. So sometimes something can come up in the market. Something can change. Maybe it's no more about visibility, it's about authority. So what do you do in that case? So this is normal. It doesn't require abandoning the plan. The monthly re-diagnosis step, which is the last step, exists precisely to catch and adjust this in the next cycle or this next cycle. And then the what if, they can be genuine. They can be genuine. All right. So what if I don't know which constraint is binding right now? So that's exactly what diagnosis is for. Revisit the frameworks from earlier chapters as checklists against visibility, authority, convention, and capacity. So just going through some of the framework that we discussed, that's what will really help you. And then what if a month goes by and nothing improves? Okay, so check whether deploy, right, actually happened, gated properly. So running deploy without diagnosis or design just relabels the old blank page problem. So somebody can try and deploy, try and do a new piece of content, just try and do new stuff, but they've not done the diagnosis, they've not done the design parts, right? Then they're trying to deploy. So it's just the same thing that happened with the old blank pages that will just keep on happening because nothing has really changed. And then what if I only have time for part of the loop? Okay, what if I only have time for part of the loop? And then, so diagnose and design together typically take under an hour once the habit is established. So that's the minimum viable version worth protecting. And I recommend that. I mean, if you are feeling overwhelmed at this moment and there is a solution being proposed to kind of reduce your time, and as you can see, this is actually being done free. If you're interested in getting it, like the platforms or the books or the courses that we bought, I don't think we'll be spending time here, right? We will not be hearing it so easily. So this is generally done because you want to see some changes in some coaches' life out there. So you want to actually give time to this. Give it at least, it should not take more than an hour to get this whole thing done. All right, part 7. So the monthly loop that ends the weekend. The weekend content scramble for good. So there's something that you can do once a month that will help you end this particular, question. What do I need to do here and there? So the monthly blueprint loop, 2 rules. First rule is a run diagnosis and design once at the start of the month. Always want to make sure that you are doing that at the start of the month. Not every week, one concentrated planning session under 1 hour. So that's what you want to do. Just once a month, you want to do that, not every week. And then 2, let every week's content trace back to their diagnosis. So if a piece doesn't connect to the constraint, it is a slot filler, not the real plan. So every content that you make sure actually trace to the constraint that you identify yourself. And then, lastly, so why does marketing feel like a second job, right? Here's what actually changes. So you starting from a blank page every week and start running a cycle that already knows what's next. So the loop doesn't reduce the amount of content being made. It removes the exhausting part, deciding what it should be. 52 separate times a year, 52 times a year, right? So you now have the framework, the audit, the case study, right? So what's left now is your first diagnosis for this month. So you can go ahead and do that. So you already know what's missing, what's the missing upstream or what's missing up there, right? So let's build your loop. Let's build it with you together. So we are offering you a free 15-minute call where we'd like to hear about your business and see exactly how we can help you in a more unique way and provide you some answers as well. Right, that's completely free. So make sure you check the link in the description to actually book that. Thank you once again for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. Bye bye.